Welcome, Soul Sisters. We're going to do a little food prep. I know I talk about it a lot, so I'm going to actually show you what food prep is. Now, it takes a long time to food prep, so please give yourself some time when you're going to food prep. I've pre-prepped, and it's probably taking me a good 30 minutes. But here's a little idea of what I have going on here. I have my greens. Usually I steam my broccoli, but the more research I'm doing, the more I'm finding it's healthier to eat your vegetables raw. So here's my raw greens. I have my broccoli and my cucumbers. I buy the small cucumbers and then I cut them up daily. It's easier, and sometimes if I cut them up and use my week's worth, they get a little soggy. I used half an onion for my turkey, which is I put turkey, onion, garlic, and some spices. I'll go over spices in a little bit. I have my bell peppers, which I cut up, and I put in a very easily accessible bowl, so when I'm ready I can just pop them out and eat them. I have my carrots that I've cut up, and I'm also going to make carrot noodles later with this awesome thing I got from my sister-in-law. I have my mushrooms and my berries, and I know I usually tell you guys to not eat strawberries, but my daughter loves them, but I got the raspberries for myself. I also have here my sweet potatoes. I haven't started them yet. I just kind of wanted to show you how I cut my sweet potatoes. I cut them in half, and then I cut them in slices. I just turn them on medium high. I throw a lid on them, and I let them do their thing. They're the easiest thing I food prep. Now, I have a George Foreman grill now, so that does make my food prep a little easier, I will admit. So it's cooking 3 of my turkey patties now. What I did with my turkey patties was I get a pound, I cut up half of my onion, and I used about a tablespoon of minced garlic. I just went ahead and mixed them all together, and it made 6 patties, which is about accurate, because before I put the onions and mushrooms in it, I usually only make 5 patties, and they should roughly weigh between 3.5 and 4 ounces. I'm going to eat these carrots as snacks. I'm going to use these bell peppers as snacks and also to cook with. Now, if you notice, I didn't have any tomatoes. That's because I used my salsa, and salsa has a lot of tomatoes, and it just so happens the salsa I get is really low in calories. In here I have my chicken going. I don't know if you guys can see it. But I just threw some spices on here. I'm going to let it cook in the oven. It's actually healthier to bake anything than it is to cook it on the stove. But Mama likes some fried sweet potatoes, so I'm gonna fry my sweet potatoes. Some of the spices I used ground pepper. I used the lemon pepper on my chicken. I used basil leaf. I used rosemary. I used the Italian seasoning on my turkey. I used the chai seed on my sweet potatoes, but you could use that on your turkey or your chicken. And I used my coconut oil for anything that you use oil with. I always replace it with coconut oil. Now, even just for this large amount of sweet potatoes, I used maybe half a tablespoon. Just not real big on the oils. Oh, and I can't forget my lovely avocado. But I don't usually cut that up until the day I use it. So I usually buy a pretty ripe one, and then I keep it in the fridge. So right now, my patties are cooking. They're a little burnt because I was talking, but that's alright. I don't mind. Now, I wanted to point out that before I had my George Foreman grill, food prep did take a little bit longer. But if you don't have a George Foreman grill, it's okay. Because I didn't have one until just a few weeks ago. And I did just what everybody else should do. I just used my stove. Now these are the same way with the chicken. You can either bake it or fry it on the stove. The George Foreman grill is cool. It drains the grease for me, which I like. Now, some of the, oh, I also got this spaghetti squash. They're cool. It's super easy. I'm just going to slice it in half. I'm going to use a fork and scrape it. And that's going to be my spaghetti squash. And I'm going to eat it tomorrow. Tomorrow's spaghetti day. Maybe I'll do a tutorial and show you guys. But as far as my vegetables go, this is about all I got. Once I got home, I realized I probably should have got a few more green vegetables. I did happen to get my greens. They're still wet from when I rinsed them, because that's a really important thing about food prep, especially if you buy local. It's really important that you wash your food because a lot of people touch it. Not only the people who pick it from wherever it came from, but the people who put it in wherever it goes, and then the people who unload it from wherever they are. So it's always important to wash your produce. My greens are still drying, so they're still in my cauldron. Another thing I got today was cottage cheese. It's awesome for breakfast. I can just put my raspberries in it. Here's my salsa I got. I've showed you guys this before. I usually shop at Aldi. I get basically everything from Aldi. Here's my old-fashioned oats. I'm going to put this either in my eggs for breakfast or in my protein shake, which I have also now been getting from Aldi because they sell it there. Hey! I also get these little packets. They're easy for lunch. I can take them. They're little tuna. And honestly, the sweet and spicy has less calories than the original. So that's usually the route I go for lunch, is the tuna packets. The eggs were on sale, so I went ahead and got 2 things of eggs instead of egg whites. So that's fine. That just means in the morning my limit is 2 eggs. Maybe 1 egg and then a couple egg yolks, but we'll see. What else did I get? Well, we can talk about buying local. It's really important for the people that live around you and you to buy local. You're not only helping out a local business, but also it's so much healthier than buying something that has had to have chemicals in it because it's been shipped from way across the country. Now, if you live in Florida, there are a lot of fruit stands and food stands around that you can go to and get local fresh stuff all the time. I know I have some people from Indiana in my group and it's not as easy to get stuff like that, but I did want you to know that I have 2 friends that own nurseries. One of them, Amanda Perkins, her and her friends are actually starting a program so that you guys can buy locally fresh fruits and vegetables all year round. So if you would like to look up Amanda Perkins and her nursery, that would be really cool. And also Eric Simo has a nursery, and he goes up to Indy just about every weekend to work the I don't want to say flea market, but I can't remember what it's called, where he sits out and sells his produce. So, and he's got a greenhouse, so he's had beautiful tomatoes even in December, so let's be jealous. So I think I've covered quite a bit on food prep. I'm not even going to put a lid on these. I'm literally just going to set them in my fridge as they are. I can easily access, pick, and eat. The easier it is to access this food, the more likely it is you're going to eat it. I also have this little tiny watermelon. I'll probably cut it up in a few days. So it's easy to eat. That's the goal here. When you're food prepping, you want it to be so easy to eat this stuff. Just like when you go to the store and you have something in a box or a bag and it's easy to go in there, open it up, and stick a hand in. That's the idea with food prep. It's going to be an easy access for you to eat healthy, good foods. So if you have any questions, you'd like to know something else, maybe I forgot something, maybe I went too fast on something, please let me know. Leave me a comment. And I hope this helped, and have a good day, Soul Sisters.